Hello, and welcome to Big League Dreaming, the podcast, a show about fulfilling your dreams and taking it to the next level. Today's episode is an update on the 2023 World Baseball Classic, the 20-team tournament to see which country has the best team in the world. I've gotten to watch a lot of these games so far, and I forgot how much, passion these guys really play with for their country. You can tell that these games mean a lot to the players. They're showing a lot more personality in these games. Guys are pointing at the country across their chest after a big hit or play. There's more, pimping of home runs, more pitchers screaming and coming off the mound after a big out. It's very entertaining to watch. And all this is happening in the middle of March, which is awesome. This is essentially playoff baseball, and we're getting it in March when we are used to just watching a spring training game here and there and some early college baseball, which isn't even conference college baseball. So this has been really exciting for baseball fans all across the country, all across the world. Everybody's tuning in. So the field is broken down in 4 pools, A, B, C, and D. Pools A and B have already completed. Their quarterfinal games are Wednesday and Thursday, March 15th and 16th. Pools C and D continue to play through Wednesday with their quarterfinal games on Friday and Saturday, the 17th and 18th. The winners of those games will play a semifinal game on March 19th and 20th, with the finale played Tuesday night, March 21st. The semifinals and the finals will all be played in Miami at the Marlins Stadium, which is where one of the pools is playing all their games at right now. But I want to touch on one prospect to kind of keep an eye out on is Sal Frelick from the Brewers. So this is an outfielder. He played at Boston College. He's on Team Italy. Sal went 7 for 18 in pool play with 3 doubles and 4 RBIs. So his team, Italy, they went 2-2 in Pool A, which was good enough for them to advance to the quarterfinal game. But they're going to take on the undefeated Japan team with Ohtani. That'll be on Thursday the 16th. First pitch for that game will be in Tokyo, bright and early here in the States at 6 a.m. Eastern Time. So if you're an early riser, you turn it on before you head out to work or get going in the morning. But next we're going to hear from our dad about some pool play surprises and his reaction, things like that. Zane will mention how some of the MLB stars are doing so far. And lastly, Ty will break down some of the favorites. On to you, Dad.
Hey, Zach, thank you so much for throwing it over to me. I'll tell you what, it is exactly as you explained, an exciting World Baseball Classic environment. All the stadiums have been rocking. It's been fun to watch the fan enthusiasm and, of course, the enthusiasm of the players, as you said, Zach, playing for the love of the game and for the love of their country. I tell you what, the pools have been so much fun to watch. Obviously, Pool A wrapped up, and Pool B as well wrapping up today. Korea just dismantling China right now in the last game of Pool B, but we already know our winners from Pool A and Pool B. As everyone probably knows, Cuba and Italy are advancing out of Pool A. And the baseball world's been talking about how all 5 teams finished 2-2, and they had to go to tiebreakers. Watch that Italy game where they learned on the field that they would be advancing. But it was close. I mean, that game could have gone either way because Netherlands just missing out on advancing. Cuba, Italy coming out of Pool A. I would think Italy being a huge favorite in that pool, but as you said, Team Japan is lurking. Team Japan comes out of Pool B. They would win easily. Hands down, they're the best team in the pool and also probably the best team in the Classic. It seems to be it's their tournament to win. Japan advancing at 4-0, undefeated. Australia coming in at 3-1 out of Pool B. So right now we know Cuba, Italy, Japan, and Australia out of Pool A and Pool B. They will all square off fairly soon here, as Zach mentioned in the format. Pool C and Pool D going on right now. Obviously, the baseball world here in the USA focused in on what's happening to Team USA. They're at 1-1 and on shaky grounds after losing to Mexico 11-5 last night. It's going to be interesting to see if they can bounce back in a must-win game. Yeah, this is interesting. It's a must-win game tonight against Team Canada. Team Canada sitting at 1-0. Team USA 1-1. Colombia and Mexico looking to be the stronger teams out of this pool. Mexico losing a heartbreaker to Colombia in their first game, and Colombia looking great right now at 1-0 as they head into their game later today. Great Britain 0-2. So I wouldn't be surprised if Mexico and Colombia come out of Pool C. That would mean the no repeat championship for Team USA. But their pitching looking suspect. They used 8 pitchers in that game against Mexico, and I don't know. I don't think they have the pitching depth to get them out of even the pool. So in Pool D, Venezuela's already 2-0. They're looking pretty strong. Team Israel 1-0. Dominican, Puerto Rico is 1-1. Dominican at 0-1. Nicaragua 0-2. But a lot of that should all shake out today. Full slate of games today. We've got Dominican playing Nicaragua at noon. Colombia playing Great Britain at 3, Israel playing Puerto Rico at 7 p.m., and that Team USA versus Team Canada game taking place at 10 p.m. tonight, Eastern Standard Time on Fox Sports 1. So I'm guessing out of Pool D, it's going to either be Venezuela and the Dominican or Venezuela and Puerto Rico. But, let's not count out Team Israel because you never know what's going to happen there. That's what's happening with Pool C and Pool D. Also, just a big shout out to, I know that some of the other guys might be talking about Joey Meneses from Team Mexico, the 30-year-old who is getting a chance to show on the big stage what he can do. He kind of took the baseball world by surprise late in the season, becoming one of the top hitters, knocked out 13 home runs with, only a couple months to play. This is a guy that's been around baseball his whole life, and he's getting a chance now to play first place for the Nationals in Washington, but he's playing for country, and he's playing with a big heart, and what a big bat flip he had there on his second and his 3-run home run against Team USA. So love seeing that excitement in the World Baseball Classic. All right, I guess we're on to you, Zane. Let's talk a little bit about maybe some of the major leaguers who have, been struggling a little bit. I noticed Mike Trout not looking that good at bat. Just a little, I don't know, not as sharp as I expected him to look. I don't know about other players that you've been watching or following. But overall, though, what have you been thinking, Zane, how this is going for the established stars?
Yeah, I probably haven't been following the WBC as close as you guys have. Mainly, I mean, it's just we're about to start conference play. Um, you know, Midwest weather is getting us pretty good right now, as I'm sure you guys know. Got hit with some snow. Ever changing temperatures, 50 one day, 30 the next. So, we're dealing with a whole bunch of cancellations and reschedulings right now. So I haven't been able to watch a lot of the WBC, unfortunately. Um, and even when I do get a chance to watch it, it seems like every time I turn it on, Great Britain's playing, and nothing against them. I mean, they earned their way into it, but they haven't looked that great. I was able to watch that Great Britain Canada game where it was, an hour long first inning, and boy was that something. But you know, it's interesting that you bring up, who's doing well, who's struggling. Honestly, I haven't, like I said, I haven't been following close enough for me to give a true analysis of that. But it's going to be interesting to see how these superstars transition back to the MLB. All the big names that are playing in the WBC, whether it's Trout, Mookie Betts, Verdugo, Julio Urias, all those guys. Because right now what they're playing essentially is playoff baseball, right? They got thrown in right away and playing playoff baseball where you know everything's amplified, even the crowds, right? International baseball is so great because international fans just hang on every single pitch. And that's what they're playing right now. Every pitch matters, every inning matters. Every run you can get is so important. Like, even in that Great Britain game, Great Britain and Canada, Great Britain puts up 3 runs, and Quantrill for Canada's got to come out in the first inning, and it's looking like, holy cow, Great Britain might do something special here. Then they turn right around and give up 5 runs. So, I mean, that transition should be really interesting for some of the superstars that are going to go back to the MLB. And, it's going to be a little bit slower pace. It's not going to be as amplified. You can kind of tell when you watch Team USA play, and I saw some stuff online about it, just the difference in the whole culture of the game, right? And in the US, it's a little slower pace. It's not as amplified, but internationally, it is high intensity, high excitement the entire game. So, that's going to be something that's going to be kind of a transition. There's guys I wouldn't be surprised to see some guys that are playing the WBC struggle a little bit, because they're going to be used to having that high energy, high intensity, and then make that transition kind of into a lower pace. Yeah, we got the pitch clock now, but the intensity level of it's going to be a little more, not necessarily laid back, but definitely lower than the WBC. So it's going to be a pretty interesting start to the season. I think a lot of teams that have guys in the WBC, those players might struggle a little bit out the gate. So we'll see how it all plays out. I mean, I could be dead wrong. Who knows? But hopefully I can watch some more of the WBC. It's a great event that baseball desperately needs. And I think it's great that they're doing such a good job of the coverage and, making sure people have access to watch it. Even if you use your free version of Fox Sports, whatever it is. But it's been a great time for baseball right now, and it'll be a good segue into the MLB season. So I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully the championship rounds, I can watch a little bit more of it, but time will tell with that one. But Ty, what do you got for us?
Nice job, Zane. Yeah, I agree. It's going to be really interesting to see what the Stars do when they go back to the MLB. Like you said, that international play is on a whole different level. It is crazy. I've been loving seeing the fans and how energized everyone is and how alive the crowd is, the players. Just kind of like you said, Zach and Dad said the same kind of thing. Like, everyone is just so into it, and it's so cool to see. So basically what I'm going to bring to the podcast today is I'm going to talk about Italy. And I got to talk about Italy because Mike Piazza is the coach. So that's my favorite player. Got to talk about Italy. So they were in the middle of that 5-way tie you were talking about, Dad. And Italy actually ended up advancing. And the big story there was in their last game, Joe La Sorsa, a minor league player for the Rays, got the call to come in a really tough spot. The score was 6-1. Netherlands, they had the bases loaded, and they had the heart of the lineup coming up to bat. And Joe La Sorsa came in and shut the door, and he got so amped. Like, you should go back and watch that highlight of him getting those 3 outs. He gets so pumped up. Mike Piazza said after the game in a post interview or post conference press conference, he said, "Yeah, I thought he was going to hurt himself how hard he was celebrating." So that was really cool to see the young guy, the young minor leaguer, get the call and come in and get 3 huge outs for Team Italy. He got out Didi Gregorius with a pop out. Then he got back-to-back strikeouts, Jonathan Scope and Roger Bernardino. So it was like a huge moment for him. It was so cool to see. So they got to advance in Tokyo. So I'm excited to see what they keep doing. I think they'll do pretty well. I don't think they're the favorite though. Like you said earlier, Dad, Japan just honestly looks unbeatable at this point. Like you said, 4-0. I would say they're my favorite to win right now for sure. I mean, you got Ohtani leading the charge over there in Japan at this point. they really just look unstoppable. So I don't see anyone beating them. But I am interested to see if Italy can keep up that little run they got going. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how the rest of this plays out. I watched the Mexico-USA game yesterday, and USA looks a little shaky, a little rocky. Mexico looked really good. So I'm excited to see the rest of this World Baseball Classic and see what happens. And yeah, we'll just keep updating on the podcast and keep giving up recaps. I mean, we only got a couple weeks left of it. Like we said earlier in one of our podcasts a few weeks ago, Zach, I think you mentioned, like, it's just a really quick tournament. It's a really quick time, and it's just all intensity, a few weeks. So it's really cool that it gets right into it, and you get a bunch of baseball fast. So it's really, really cool. Really excited it's going on. So thanks for everyone who tuned into this podcast. We really appreciate you following the journey, the Big League Dreaming, the podcast journey. If you want to find some more information on our podcast, we're on all the streaming platforms. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Spreaker, Anchor, anywhere you can find your podcasts, we are there. We're also on YouTube, so give us a subscribe over there. We have a lot of video podcasts that we do, and you can follow us, of course, on social media, on Twitter at BLDpod, that's at BLDPOD, and we're also on TikTok at Big League Dreaming. And if you want to get on an episode with us, shoot us an email, bigleaguedreaming@gmail.com. We'd love to get you on the show, love to get you on an episode. If you want to bring some insight into some of these episodes, we'd love to hear from you. So shoot us an email, and thanks again to everyone who listened to this. Enjoy your day.